Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what people find attractive about you. And so I have 6 groups here for you that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, and this will be group number 6. And so I will ask you to use your intuition to choose the right group for you, the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can always pause the video, but if you don't, I'll just move on to the reading. Hello group number 1, you chose this Cleo's Tarot deck, and I will start with a channeled message and then I will draw some cards for you, or shuffle some cards for you. So I'll start with the channeling. So group number 1, what do other people find attractive about group number 1? So I saw an image of a cat. So like, I don't think it's because you look like a cat or something like that, but I think it could be 2 things here. Like, it could either be that you have like a bit of, you give off kind of the same vibe as a cat. Like, you might have this energy that comes across as maybe a bit aloof, but also kind of sexy. Like, not that I find cats sexy, like, but you know, like, Catwoman, like, she's really sexy, and like, it's something about there's just a vibe that you might give off that is very cat-like, very slick, very I rule the world kind of vibe. Like, this is also like, this deck here also has Egyptian pictures of the like, the drawings are like Egyptian theme, and so I think you have that cat thing, that like cats were considered to be goddesses back then. Like, they were considered very high in the hierarchy in some way, like, and they were put up a bit on a pedestal to be these extraordinary creatures. And I think people, when they see you, they think of that. Like, you give off that vibe where people immediately notice you. People notice you right away when you walk into a room. People notice you because you have that very demanding presence where people just give you attention because you have this very respectful, very honorable way that you carry yourself. Like, you could be a Virgo or a Libra, but it doesn't, you don't have to be any of those signs. But like, I think you just have, or a Sagittarius, or an Aries. Definitely Aries. Aries is coming quite strongly through, I think. But I think you have this boss lady thing going on, where people feel like they have to work for you. Like, people would feel kind of weird if you had to work for them, because you have this thing where you're the leader, not the one who's being led. Like you're the one giving orders. You're not the one receiving orders. Like you, and even if that's not what you do for a living, like even if that's very much not how you are as a person, that's just the vibe that comes across when people meet you. Maybe the first time they meet you, that's kind of the vibe they get the first time they meet you. Then maybe their impression of you changes with time, but that's like, you might have heard that a lot of times. Maybe a lot of people have told you that when they met you the first time, they kind of thought you were a bit of a bitch, and then they realized that you are actually very nice and sensitive and soft and on the inside, and very caring and empathetic. But at first they thought you were a bit aloof, and that you didn't really care about them, and that you didn't really care about anyone, that you were just kind of above others in some way, that you looked down on other people, or maybe your friends just got that vibe the first time they met you, that you carried yourself in a way where they got the impression that you looked down on them. But that's not who you are. But that's kind of the thing I'm getting. But it's also what makes you attractive. Like, people are drawn to this. People like that. It's kind of interesting that you give off this aloofness, because people feel like they have to fight for you, like, or fight to get to know you. Like, it's kind of something they have to conquer. Like, you're not so easygoing that it's just easy to talk to you, and then it's not that exciting because it's too easy. But like, you give off a vibe where people see you as a bit of a I'm looking for a word right now. It's a challenge. Yeah, people see you as a bit of a challenge. It's a challenge to get to know you, or that's kind of what they believe when they first meet you, that you are a challenge for them to, like, they want to see if they can actually get to know you and become your friend, because they feel like you have a list of like you know those clubs where they have a list outside the door, and like only certain people can come in. Like, people get that energy when they meet you the first time. They think you are like one of those high-end clubs where it's not everyone who can come into the club, and then there are those clubs where everyone can get in, and that's really great, but it's not as exciting, because it's kind of like, oh, I want to feel special. I want to be that special someone who actually gets to come into this club. Like, you get what I mean. I think you get it, but yeah. So I'll do a bit more channeling here. So a bit more about what people find attractive about group number one, about you guys, group number one. I'm getting the word dashing, and like, when I think of dashing, like, I'm not completely sure I know the word, like the full meaning of the word, but I'll go with it. But when I think of something dashing, like clothes that are dashing, like, I'm not sure if this is like way off, but then I think of someone who, like, I think people find it attractive that you wear also wear high-end clothes. Like, you wear clothes that look like designer clothes. Maybe you don't wear designer clothes at all, but maybe you're just really good at matching your clothes together and making your outfits look really high-end and really designer clothes, like and expensive. Like, you make it look expensive, even if it's not expensive. Like, you have a way to, like, make your outfits seem like extraordinary in a way that that people notice, and everything's on point. Like, you have close attention to detail too. Like, and I think people really find that attractive, that it looks like you have thought about everything. Like, you have thought about your makeup, you have thought about your hair, you have thought about your makeup matching your outfit, or your clothes matching your shoes, and like everything just matches, like because you have that close attention to detail, or that's maybe it's something you don't even think about. Maybe it just comes very natural to you. Maybe it's just like intuitive, like you put something on and it's completely random, but then it just ends up matching and looking really good. Like, and people think you have used a lot of time to, like, think about your outfit, but really you haven't. So, like, that could also be a thing. But yeah, I think people like people find you very attractive, like, in general. But let's shuffle some cards. Group number 1. What's attractive? What do people find attractive about group number 1? Okay, so with the Hanged Man, I think people find it very attractive that you're maybe the type who's always late for everything. Like, you might be fashionably late for everything, and I think people have noticed that, and I think people find it very attractive that it's like you have your own time. Like, you don't change your time to match up with other people's time. Like, you don't and like, you take your time. Like, you don't rush yourself to be able to like, you seem to maybe like, when you talk to people, I think people notice that you take your time to actually talk to people, and you don't rush the conversation. You don't you give people the time that they need, and, like, especially the people who are close to you. Like, you give people your time. You are very generous with your time. You don't tell people that, like, you have an appointment in an hour, so you can only talk to them for a short amount of time. Like, you reschedule the appointment that you have in an hour if you are having a conversation with someone. And so I think people have noticed that you actually make other people a priority. Like you would rather reschedule something else to be able to give someone you care about your time. Like you have a way to prioritize your time, even if it means that you are late to something else. Like you know what's important, and sometimes some things are more important than coming to a party right at the exact time when the party begins. Like if you're having a conversation with someone right before, then you will be an hour late, and that will just be something people will have to deal with. Like you don't care because you have chosen to prioritize someone you care about more than coming at the right time to a party. And I also think there might be something about you being quite flexible. Maybe you do yoga or Pilates or something like that. I think more yoga, like, or maybe you don't, but maybe you're just, or maybe you're double jointed or something. But like, I think you are very flexible. Maybe you can do things with your body that not many people can do, and I think people find that very intriguing and exciting and interesting. Maybe you can also bend like backwards, like maybe you can bend backwards and like end up in a handstand or something, and like something like that. And I think people are very impressed by that. And yeah, I also think there might be something about you having a bit of a different viewpoint on things. Like you don't have like the you don't have a very conventional way of thinking. Like you have your own opinion on things, like, and you're not afraid of telling people your opinion on things, and sometimes your opinion is quite different from other people's opinion, but like I think people really like that you give people a different viewpoint. You can offer people a new way of looking at things. Like you always have like some angle that other people haven't thought about before. Like and so like if people are having a conversation about something, maybe politics or maybe psychology or morals or something, whatever, you always say something that makes people think and makes them think in a different way than they did before, because you always have like a gift of being able to show people a different side of things, a side that they hadn't thought about before. With a page of coins, I think people also like that you that you have an ability to see, especially material things, like before they materialize. It's and that is very obvious in like the way that you dress. Like you can visualize an outfit before you put it together. Like you know that it will look great before you even put it together, because in your mind you have already visualized it, and so you can materialize it as like because you have already materialized it in your head, if that makes sense. And you probably also have a way to see how certain things can become a business or can be monetized in some way. Like if someone comes up to you and tells you like an idea that they have, you're really good at saying, okay, you can do this, and then you can monetize this idea. Like you can make it a reality if you do this and this. Like you have a way to be able to see like what's the next step here in order to make this a reality. Like you can see like a bit ahead in time, like you can plan a bit ahead, and so you especially the next few steps, like you know exactly what steps people have to do in order to make their ideas come to life. I'm not sure that you're as good at doing it for yourself. Like maybe you're not. Maybe you can't really see that as clearly as when you see it in like for other people. Like you're good at advising people. So like if you're thinking of like what you should do like career-wise, I would believe that you could be really good as any type of advisor, where you advise people and help them plan ahead and help them do make their dreams come true. But maybe you're not that good at seeing your path clearly, because that might be that might be something you're blindfolded from seeing, and then there might be a reason for that, like a divine reason why your path is not accessible for you, and why you can only see other people's paths. And that's probably because your destiny is to work with other people and helping other people on their path. And so that means that you are not supposed to see your path as clearly, because it's your, I don't know, but I think people really respect that about you, that you are always helping others, and like if people come with an idea, even if it's a really really bad idea, you have a way to see the potential in it, even if no one else sees any potential. Like the people around you can be like, well, this is a bad idea, like what's she going to say about this, or was he or she going, I don't know your gender, but like other people might be saying like other people might also be looking at like from the side. Like if you're in a conversation and someone comes up to you and says like they have an idea that they want to present to you, then there might be other people in that conversation looking like from the sideline and really looking at you in awe and seeing how you actually can make this into a really great idea. Like people don't know what you're going to say. Like they look at you create magic, like because other people don't see the potential like you do. Like they just hear on when people present their ideas to like the people around you, like the people around you just think, Jesus, like this is not a good idea, like this person just needs to stop doing that because it's not a good idea. But you have this positive outlook, and you see the opportunity, you see how it can become something great if there's and you know which adjustments needs to be done in order to make it great. And I think people are looking at you in awe to see how you actually can make something that's trash and make it into gold. And yeah, with the 7 of staffs here, I think people find it really attractive that you are quite like you might be doing something, or maybe this is going to be you in the future. I'm not completely sure, but I think it's both now, but also like in the future. I think people see you as, or will see you as, someone who is on top of your game. Like you are, whatever field you will choose to work with in the future, you will be one of the best in that field. And I think people, even if this hasn't happened yet, I think people still look at you and see you as like someone who will make it in your field, like you, because you're very talented, and people can see how talented you are, and people can see that you have a lot of people looking up to you. Like there are people around you who believe in you and look up to you and see the potential in you as well. Like you, and possibly because you have seen the potential in others, and that kind of might have like created like a group of, like you might have a group of friends that all look up to you and see the potential in you, but it's because you were able to see the potential in them in some sort of way. And so I also think like people see you, like at first they think of you as sort of a bit of an arrogant and aloof person, but then when they get to know you, they see how much you invest in other people, like how much you give to others, and how generous you are with your time when you are talking to others, and but also how good you are at giving people compliments. Like I think you are good at seeing like the good in everyone. Like you can pinpoint. Also, I'm also thinking that you can pinpoint what people are good at. Like you can see people's talents even before people can see them themselves. Like you could be a really good agent, or like you could be good at searching for talent, like, or like you could also be like one of those who walks in the street and like sees like a pretty girl, and then you can like see how she can become like the best model, like an international supermodel. And like because you can, like, you have like an eye for seeing how something can turn out, how you see the potential. Like you can see the potential in people, and you can see what people are good at, you can see what talents they have, you can see how you can make one person like into a superstar. Like I know it's kind of a cliche, but like I just think you have that, like you have that eye for seeing greatness in others, and that also makes people see greatness in you, because people return the favor. When what you put out in the world, you receive, and when you put out so much positivity out in the world, you also get that positivity back. So yeah, and with the 8 of Staffs here, I also think people enjoy the fact that, like, I think people are attracted to the fact that you are also very good at like answering messages right away. Like when you get a text message, you answer it right away, especially if it's someone close to you, someone you like. And I think people find that really attractive, that you give people your time. You don't purposely ignore people. Like that's not in your nature to ignore someone. And I also think like you might also be very fast at, like you might think fast, like and maybe you talk very quickly too, like you also like might think on your feet, like you. There's just something about you that might be very quick, like, and people are very fascinated by how quickly you can come up with something, how quickly you can come up with an idea, how quickly you can see how something can turn out to something else. Like you might have a quick mind, and people are very attracted to that. So yeah. I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful in some way, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this, the Cook's Tarot deck. And so I will start with a channeled message, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So I will start with the channeling. So group number 2, what do people find attractive about you, group number 2? There's something about a suit. So I don't know if you have worn a suit once, but like, if you wore a suit at some to some kind of party in the past, I think people really liked that suit. So, like a pantsuit, or maybe also a cat suit, like. Some kind of suit or jumpsuit, like I think you wore like an outfit like recently, maybe at some kind of event, and you might also know exactly what outfit that is, because maybe you got a lot of compliments about it when you wore it, and maybe it's a few years ago, I don't know, but like people might still be talking about it, but maybe it's just recently, and so that might be why people are still like thinking about it, and like, I don't know, but I think I'll do some more channeling. So okay, group number 2. What do people find attractive about group number 2? I think there might be something about your eyebrows as well. Like you might have quite distinct or like prominent eyebrows. Something about your eyebrows might be kind of unique as well. Like, I think your eyebrows might give you like that kind of it might give you like it might give people a bit of an association to some of the big Hollywood stars or the big models, like, because you might have like that model eyebrow where you might have kind of thick eyebrows, and so people instantly think of models and like Hollywood, like that girl. I'm getting the picture of one girl who's both a model but also an actor. I think I don't know her name, and I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't really know if I even remember it right. Like, but Cara something. Cara gosh, I don't know. Delevine, Cara yeah. I'm not going to try that anymore, but you might look a bit like her, whoever that is. Like if you know who I'm talking about, I'm like, kudos to you, because I don't know if that made any sense at all. But you might have that very unique eyebrow that's very that's big and interesting to look at. So yeah. And yeah, but I also think like there's something, like when people see you, there's something about your look that makes people just like, I don't know if it's only the eyebrows, but it could also just be your look in general that makes people think of someone who has like some star quality, because you have that interesting look that is very characteristic, very interesting to look at, very intriguing, and very you might also be quite charismatic. You might also have like facial expressions that are very telling, like you like an actor in a way, like you can move your face in very different ways that and like you tell a story with your face, like maybe you don't even need a lot of words, like you don't need to say a lot to get your message across, because people instantly know how you're feeling and what you think about certain things, just because they can look at your face, and your face kind of tells you off. Like people know what you are thinking just by looking at your face, because your face is very expressive. You might also have like something about your voice being quite your voice might be quite interesting to you might have a very special voice. Something about your voice might be quite unique. You could have like a bit of a hoarse voice, or a bit of a raw voice, or a deep voice. So, but I'll shuffle some cards to see if there's what people find attractive about you, group number 2. Group number 2. Okay, so with the sun here, I think people find it very attractive that you seem very positive, but I'm also getting that you might have a perfume that's kind of that makes people very happy, like, and people might be very attracted to your perfume, and you might have a perfume that's kind of flowery, or like sunflower even, but like kind of, it doesn't have to be sunflower, but it could just be some kind of very flowery perfume. And I think people instantly become very happy when you have that perfume on, and it makes them look at you in a more positive way because you give them some kind of association as well. Like your perfume might remind some people about something from their past, something even from their childhood, so that you might give people some nostalgia, maybe because you have a perfume that smells like sunflower, and sunflower makes people maybe it makes people think of their childhood in some kind of way, that like maybe it gives them some nostalgia. Or maybe you have a perfume that's a bit older, like that the formula is like was made like in the 60s or something like that, where and so it might have been on the market for a very long time, and so maybe your people can like recognize your perfume instantly because it reminds them of their mother or their grandmother or something like from their childhood, because they might have had like someone who worked at like a kindergarten teacher who had that same perfume. Like it might give people nostalgia when they smell that perfume. But I'm also just getting that like you have something about you that makes people like you have a way to make the people around you feel at home, like feel familiar. Like you might have something that's like kind of like girl next door. Like you have something about you where people instantly feel very calm around you and relaxed around you, because you have a presence that's not very demanding. Like you don't demand that much from people, and you don't, and you might also have a very calm energy where people instantly relax when they are around you, just because you're so calm and you have this positive outlook on things, where you like if something bad happens, you stay calm. Like you don't allow anything to affect you negatively. Like if you run into an obstacle, you just try your best to solve it, but you don't do it in a stressful, like you don't stress about it. You stay calm, and like nothing can bring you down in some way, or like that's kind of what people believe. Like people see you as this rock, where nothing can bring you down, nothing can make you, nothing can break you. Like you're very rock solid. You might also come from like maybe you grew up out in the countryside, out maybe at a farm. Maybe you grew up on a farm or something like that, where you have this more relaxed, more down to earth way about you. Maybe you are an earth sign, so like a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but you have like this thing where you have both your feet very planted on the ground. You might also be a Cancer. Like you have something where you're just very grounded, very you have a very like hippie kind of mindset, maybe, or an outlook on life that's more like, okay, that's everything's going to be fine. We'll settle it tomorrow. It's not good. We shouldn't let this ruin our evening. We can just, like, if something happens, like if you're at a party and something happens and it's like everyone feels like it's a catastrophe and it's ruining the whole evening, like you are the one who just tells people to calm down. Don't let it ruin the evening. We can solve it tomorrow. We don't have to solve it tonight. We don't have to think about this tonight. We can just talk about it tomorrow and try to find a solution to it tomorrow. We shouldn't let this ruin the mood. And so I think people are just instantly very calm around you because you give off a very calm energy, and you also have something where like people feel like you don't judge them, like you're not very like people feel like you're not judgmental at all, like they see you as this very tolerant, very non-discriminating, very soft and gentle person where like you accept everyone, like you don't hold anything against anyone, just like if someone says something, you don't judge that person only because they said one thing that was wrong. Like you just tell them, I don't think that's a nice thing to say, you shouldn't be saying that. And then like if you feel like that person understands that they fucked up, and if the person apologizes for saying that, then you just move on, and you don't allow it to affect your view on that person. It's just water under the bridge. Like I also think like you have this thing where you you're very forgiving. Like you forgive people if they like do something wrong, but you also like, it's not because you allow people to just do whatever they whatever they feel like, but you are very accepting. And I think people find that really attractive, that you have that very accepting nature, very understanding nature, where you understand people, where you try to understand people. Like if you don't understand people, you will you will do your best to try to understand them, try to understand why they do what they do, try to understand what drove them to do whatever they did. Like you want to get to the bottom of things, you want to get to the core of an issue. Like you don't solve anything on a superficial level. You want to really get to the core of everything, and solve issues by going to the core of the issue instead of just being superficial about it. And like so, and I think that kind of also, like many people have that forgiveness. Like many people can forgive people for doing something, like, and but sometimes they do it on a very superficial level. Like they just say, okay, it's fine, whatever, like, and then they move on, but they don't really move on because they forgave the person on a superficial level. Like they didn't want to get to the bottom of it, so really they didn't really solve the issue, but they just but you have so much respect for the people that you are with every day, like that you really want to solve any issue deeply, so that there won't be any problems in the future. Like you want to do it right the first time so that you don't hold a grudge against the person in the next many years. Like you want to solve it. And that's also because I think you deeply care about people, and people feel that when they are with you, they feel how you actually care like deeply about them, and not on a superficial level, but like you're really deeply interested and curious about other people and getting to know other people. And so yeah, with the Ace of well, there's also a baby here in the sun, and so I think people also find it very attractive that they see you as someone who could become a really great mother one day. Like you have that patience that it requires to have children. Like people can instantly tell that you would be a very great and understanding and patient mother, one day, or maybe you are a mother already, and people have noticed how patient you are around children. And with the Ace of Cups here, I think people find it attractive that you're someone that well, there's like tea here, like in the picture here. So like, I think people see you as someone who, well, that kind of makes me feel about makes me think of the familiarity again, like with the, like you have maybe you have this thing where like you invite people for tea or for coffee, and you're good at telling people like, let's meet and have coffee together. Like you're good at like making people feel that you actually want to catch up with them, like you actually want to have to do something with them, you want to have coffee with them, you want to have a conversation with them, and so you want to plan that sort of thing with people. You want people to feel like you actually would like to spend more time with them, but also that you take your time with people, like you give people your time. You schedule meetings with people, like you prioritize those meetings. Like you're probably also the type who always like if you schedule something with someone, you will be there. Like people know that they can rely on you. Like you won't just ghost someone. Like you if you have an appointment, or not an appointment, but like if you have a meeting with someone or have a date with someone, like if you have like a scheduled date, or not a date, but like also just a friendly date with someone, you will be there, and people can rely on that. Like you are very reliable. People just know that they can count on you at all times. And but I also I think many people see you as someone who could be a potential love partner. Like I think there are quite a few people in this world, like quite many people in this world, who has at some point after meeting you has like thought that like you could be a really good love partner for them. And like, so I think you are really easy to fall in love with. Like you just have something about you that people are very attracted to, and people are not just attracted to you physically. They are like, they see you as someone they fall in love with you because you have because they fall in love with your personality, how caring you are, how calm you are, how you have all these great personality traits that would both make a really good partner, like a life partner, but also a really good mother or father if you're a man. Like you have this parent, husband, wife thing going on, where people just instantly see you as someone they could spend their whole life with, and that can be both like a gift and a curse. Like many people might have fallen in love with you, and you might have broken some hearts. Maybe you don't know that yet, but or maybe you don't know that maybe people haven't told you. But I think there are some people who have felt a bit like you were the one that got away from them, like you. So I don't know. But with the Hermit here, I think, well, you could be a Virgo, but I also think like people see you as someone who is very reflective. Like you you reflect on yourself, and you reflect on on the actions that you do as well as the actions of others. Like it's not like you only focus on other people's actions and like what's wrong with other people's actions. Like you have the ability to see yourself objectively as well. Like you can see if you do something wrong. Like you can. It's not hard for you to see yourself from the outside. Like you are able to see your flaws. Like if you do something wrong, you can tell. Maybe not instantly, but like at least like the next day, it will dawn upon you, and you will know, okay, I did something wrong here, and I have to apologize. And like you are good at realizing when you're wrong. With the Wheel of Fortune here, I think one of the things that people find attractive about you might be like the Ace of Cups, like that they actually see they have, like people might find it very attractive that they actually see you as like someone that could be a possibility for them, and so they might also see you as like someone they could they have a shot with, like, and not in a negative way, but like you might have that thing where people just like people, because you're so sweet and nice and like not full of yourself, people instantly see you as someone who's in their league, even if you're really pretty and like it's not that, but I think people see you as someone who they have a shot with, or who like many people see you as someone they have a shot with, not because like you're not as pretty as like the others or something like that, but more because you're so sweet and kind and including, and like they also people feel like if they asked you out on a date or something, you would let them down easily, like you would be very nice to them. If they should get a rejection from you, they feel like you would be the right person to give them that rejection because you are so nice about it, and you don't judge people, and you don't make fun of people for asking you out, like and you don't gossip about it afterwards. Like you're very civil, like you. And so people are not afraid of asking you out. But there's also maybe something about games, like maybe you're really good at playing games or like board games, or and so people might find it quite attractive that like you're always up for board games, like you're not afraid of like becoming a nerd as well. Like if there's a board game or something, like you want to win, so maybe like if you are playing trivia with someone, like with some people, like you are not afraid of like maybe someone has seen you play trivia, and maybe it has like given them like a different view on you, because maybe you became a bit of a nerd, like nerdy back then, or like in that game, because you knew some answers to some things that not many people knew the answers to. Or this could also like be like some nerdy games like Dungeons and Dragons. Like maybe you have told people that like you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, or that you have played Dungeons and Dragons, or that you want to, or I don't know. But I think people like that you have that side of you where you're not afraid of also doing, maybe playing some childish games, even like or maybe you also don't, like maybe you get a bit childish when you play games, like you might be a bad loser, like when you play games, so you might overreact a bit when you lose, and people like that side of you, like when that side of you comes up where you're a bit childish and yeah, so maybe something like that, I don't know. But that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Botticelli tarot deck. And I will start with a channeled message, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 3. What do other people think find attractive about you, group number 3? About group number 3. I think there's something about colors. Like maybe you wear a lot of colors, but I also think there's something about socks. Like maybe you have wear some socks with like different patterns and funny images, or maybe you just like to have to dress in some fun outfits, like t-shirts with fun slogans on them, maybe also t-shirts with like pictures of like dogs or cats or something that make like I think it's important for you to make people smile with your outfits, and so like your outfits might make you smile, and then you feel like you have to wear them because then you can make other people smile as well, and so you can like create more joy by wearing something that's fun and not like I think you might have always felt that like neutral colors and like basic clothing pieces, like basic pieces, t-shirts without any patterns on them, t-shirts without any slogans or pictures, like that they were like those kind of t-shirts were always something that like maybe especially as a child you always felt that it was boring, something that like you didn't want to dress that way because you didn't want to dress boring, and so you wanted to have fun with your outfits because you always also felt like if you had something fun on, then you would create fun, like you would create positivity around you if you could make people smile with like a t-shirt. And I think you have that still like today, where you feel like if a t-shirt can make someone else smile, then it was worth it. And you can't make people smile with a grey t-shirt without any pattern or without any slogan or without any pictures. Like that wouldn't make anyone smile. And so like I think you have a very fun personality, very you like humor, you like to satire, you like you also like maybe you have like t-shirts from with like some pictures from sitcoms, like slogans from sitcoms, jokes from sitcoms, maybe just jokes in general, like some t-shirts with a joke on it, and I think people find that attractive, like people, because you dress in a way that you put your personality so much into your outfits that like your personality shines through, and people immediately think you're funny because you have a funny t-shirt. And so people get the impression that you're a very funny person. And you are also a very funny person. It's not like, but I think people just, I think people find it attractive that you are funny and maybe also a bit sarcastic, and that you make jokes, and like you're also very light. You're very easygoing, maybe extroverted. Like you're not afraid of showing people your personality and being you, and you don't care so much about what other people think. Like if you find something funny and other people don't, then it's their loss. Like then they are just then it's on them for not being funny enough to see the funny thing, funny in whatever you do. Like you're very confident as well. I think people really find that very attractive, that you're so confident in your personality. Like you're not trying to be something you're not. You're not trying to impress people. You're just naturally funny in your own way, and like you don't, in your own way. That sort of sounded very, it's not what I meant. Like I'm not saying that like you're funny in your own way as if you're not funny, but like you're funny in your unique way. So, but like you are generally funny. I don't know why I said that, but I think people see you as, like, people find the fun side of you very attractive. They find it very easy to comprehend in some way. It's you're someone who's like very easy to talk to, especially because maybe you talk a lot, and so even the silent types, like, and maybe especially the silent types, really like to hang out with you, because when they are with you, they know that there won't be any awkward silence, because you will always try to fill out the awkward silence. You have a way where, like, you talk maybe a lot, and people really like that, especially the silent types really like that about you. They feel like whenever they are around you, they don't have to be on the spot all the time, because they have you to do that. Like you can, they also have you to, like, they can, like, if they get into any awkward situation, they can just push you into the in front of the lions, and like they know, like if there's some kind of situation, like if you're at a bar and you get into some like if some of your friends get into an argument with someone at the bar, and you're there, your friends can like throw you under the bus, and like they can put you in the mix, because they know that if they just like put you in front and let just allow you to do your thing, then it will clear out, because you will break the tension with a joke, and like you will make it all better by just like, you can say something funny, and then the argument will stop and it will all go away, because you have this way of just charming people and making people happy again. Like if people are being sad, then you can make them happy, and if people are angry, you can make them happy, because you have a way to do that. And I think your friends know that, and they may also abuse that. Like they use you to get out of any like any tension, like, and so people find that really attractive, especially the silent types. So, like, if there's some silent types around you, that maybe you should take a look at those people, because the thing about silent types is that, like, those types don't, like, if you're single, it's not the silent types who would come and give you a love offer, because they are silent, so they don't say much, and so, like, they would have maybe they don't have the courage to come out and, like, ask you out. So maybe, like, look at some signs, like, around you, like, with especially the silent types around you. There might be someone who's in love with you, but who can't really get themselves to tell you that, like, so there might be something like that going on. But let's shuffle the cards to see what people find attractive about you. Group number 3. Group number 3. Group number 3. What do people find attractive about group number 3? Okay, so the first card is 5 of Wands, and so I think I was right about the thing I was talking about before, that I think people see you as someone who can, who's really good in a fight, like in an argument. You're really good. You're someone who can handle the pressure. Like, you can handle a situation, even if it's really heated, like a heated situation, you can handle it, because, like, you have some way to charm people and, like, lighten the mood and make people become friends again. Like, you're a good diplomat. You know exactly what buttons to push in order to make people become friends again. Like, make people stop being mad at each other. Like, yeah. With the 4 of Pentacles, I think people also like that you're very particular about certain things. And this kind of goes, this is kind of a character flaw, which is kind of like, I think you are quite a perfect person, especially like many people around you look up to you, because you might have this side of you where you're really, really funny and outgoing and easygoing and extroverted, and many of the silent or the introverted people around you really look up to you and see you as a bit of a superhero in their mind. But you also have some kind of thing about you where you are kind of particular about some things, and that kind of doesn't add up with this sort of chaotic energy that I'm getting. But even though you're really fun and, like, you're very light, you might have some things where you want things to be a certain way, like a very particular way. You want and it's kind of an OCD thing. I think like you want things to be like in a very certain way. You want things to be done in the right order, maybe. You don't like it when things are out of order. You want things to be, especially like things like maybe when you eat, like you want to eat everything in the right order. Like there might be an order that you have in your mind and you have to follow that order, and it might be a flaw, but some people see it as attractive because it's kind of it's kind of that thing where like sometimes it's the small things that are kind of psycho, the psycho things that we do that doesn't really make any sense, but it creates and like it gives people the feeling that, okay, yeah, this person is perfect, but right here that is kind of weird. This person does like so people see you as like I think people like that you have like that one like OCD thing that where you do something a bit weird, and you have to do that, and I think people find that kind of cute, that you have like these some things that are a bit mental that you do. Yeah. And maybe you also maybe it's also because you know that you do it, like you know that you have these flaws, and maybe you also joke about them. Like you're good at joking about yourself, like you're good at making jokes about yourself and like pointing out the weird things that you do, like how you have some OCD thing going on, and then you might make a joke about it, and like people like that you have that the ability to make fun of yourself, and you don't take yourself so seriously, but you also have like those things where you want things, and you maybe also want other people to follow a bit like your patterns, like what you and but I think the fact that you can make fun of it is something that people find very attractive. And also just the way you handle it, I think people find that attractive. With the high priestess here, I think people also find it attractive that you might have some layers. Like even though you are like very fun and easygoing, you might also have a side to you where like people know that sometimes you might fake it. Like sometimes you might make a joke because you're uncomfortable. Sometimes you might smile even though you're not happy. Like sometimes it's kind of a mask that you put on, and I think people find it's not like people find it attractive, but I think people find it intriguing, that, or not intriguing but interesting in a mysterious way, where like people want to peel off the layers and find out who you are on the inside, when you're not this person who's just cracking jokes all the time. Like they want to see like the darker side of you, where yeah, I think people know that there is a dark side to you, and I think that's something people want to investigate a bit. With the 5 of Pentacles, I think people also people feel like, because you already might have this duality to your personality, where like maybe you have a duality to your personality. Maybe you are maybe it's not really a mystery to people. Like you might have this fun side, and then you might have this dark side, and maybe you make jokes about both. Like maybe your jokes are also a bit dark sometimes, and maybe you make jokes about yourself being a bit dark and being like, maybe you even make some really dark jokes sometimes about like you being even like suicidal or depressed or something where your humor goes to a very dark place sometimes, and you might just like, you might say that it's just a joke, like you're just joking, but people kind of feel like that maybe there's some truth to what you're saying, and I think people want to kind of get to know that part of you, where like the dark side of you, but they also, like, I think people see you as someone who's both very, very light and very dark, and you're very fun, but you can also be very depressed and dark. People also know that maybe you've been through something very hard in your life, and like you might joke about it, but deep down people know that deep down it hurts you, that you've been through a lot in your life. So like, people want, I think people want to get to know you. People want to see all the layers of you. Like, they want to peel all the layers. And I also think people see you as someone who's marriage material, because they see you as someone who they could go through thick and thin with, like you, because you can handle it. Like, you can handle the good, you can handle the bad, and I think that people see you as a very loyal person who would stick with someone even through very dark times. Like, so I think people see that as quite attractive. So yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Yolanda tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4. Group number 4. What do people find attractive about group number 4? About you guys, group number 4. What do people find attractive about group number 4? I think people find your body quite attractive. You might be quite slender, or that might be some of you, but like you might also be quite tall, or have like long limbs, long legs, long arms. You might be a dancer, or you might have danced when you were younger, like ballet or something. I'm also getting that some people might feel like you should be doing modeling. So like I think you have like that, some of you have that model body, like you're tall and skinny. But even if you're not that tall and skinny, I think people are just very attracted to your body, are very focused on your body. There's something about your body that people are attracted to. So, but there's also something about your face. You might have a very like mild face, like a very soft face, like you have very soft features in your face, and it's very mild and very, very comfortable to look at. Like it's not very demanding. It's very comfortable and comfortable for the eye to look at in some way. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very soft and very non-offensive. I don't know, like there's nothing that like there's also maybe a very good symmetry in your face. Like it's very like symmetrical, very mild and symmetrical, and nothing is too big, nothing is too small. Like everything is just kind of perfect in a way, but like you could be a model, or you could like be an influencer, or you could like because you have that face that's very commercial in a way. Like it's yeah. Group number 4. What do people find attractive about group number 4? Yeah, it's like I think people are very attracted to you in general, but there's also something about maybe your personality might also be very soft. Like you might also be very soft spoken. You might have a very soft voice. Like you might also talk kind of softly, silently. Like maybe you whisper a bit when you talk. Like people might have to like get really close to you in order to hear what you say, because the volume of your voice might be very low, but it's also very non-offensive. Like it's very people like to listen to your voice, even though it's low volume, because it's very soft and it's like a lullaby. Like when you talk, it's like a lullaby. People feel like it calms them down to listen to you talk, because you have a very relaxing voice. You could also you could do commercials. Like you have a voice for doing like commercials, or doing like talking over documentaries, like or something, because you have that, or talking in like children's shows, like because you have a good voice for storytelling, because it's not too much. It's very soft, and it doesn't demand a lot of attention to itself. Like it doesn't take away from the story. Like if you're telling a story, like if you have a very characteristic and demanding voice, it sometimes can take away from the story that you're telling, because people are just focused on your voice. But when you have a bit of a more subtle voice, it kind of allows the story to tell itself, and I think people feel that you have a good storytelling voice, you have a good you have a presence also that's not demanding, and it's not demanding attention to, like you might fade a bit into the background sometimes, and you might have felt like many times in your life that people didn't quite notice you, or that you faded a bit into the background, and that you didn't make like a strong impression on people. And maybe you've also felt that people don't like remember your name, don't remember you, and like it might have been something that has been an issue for you in the past. But it's also what makes you very attractive, because sometimes, like when like a person fades into the background, the person is also someone that like you would never get tired of looking at them, because when they can fade into the background, it also means that they can be a very subtle, like it's I don't know, but it's something people really like. People like that you are not like someone who is drawing attention to yourself all the time. You're not the center of attention, and that's something people admire about you, that you don't have that, that you also seem to not have the need to be the center of attention all the time, that you actually, even if you don't feel that way, but you give across, you come across as a person who is actually quite all right with being in the background. Like people get the idea that you're just not the type of person who wants to be the center of attention. You want to be more of a subtle, like I don't know, but there's also something about animals. Maybe you're very gentle around animals. Maybe animals are also like attracted to you, like in not a creepy way, but like animals you might have noticed your whole life that animals kind of seek towards you. Like if you're at a friend's house, their dog always comes to you, like or their cat comes to you, or maybe you have like this connection with animals where animals just are attracted to you. They are attracted to your presence, even if human beings feel like you fade a bit into the background. Then animals don't. Like animals notice you right away, and they are drawn to you because you have something that's very gentle, and something that they can connect with. And I think you connect with animals on a deeper level. You're maybe also really good with horses, or horseback riding. You're good at becoming one with an animal as well. Like if you're a horseback rider, it might be like you become one with the horse, and then you just become the horse. Like when you're on top of it, like you become the horse. And some people might have told you that, like that it's like you become one with the animal that you sit on, like a horse. Like, and I think animals especially are attracted to you, but human beings are also attracted to you because of this attraction that animals have towards you. Like people see you around animals, and people are very intrigued by the way that you can connect with animals, and your softness towards them and gentleness. So I also think like you have a connection with nature as well. And yeah, like it's very soft, like the energy is very soft and gentle, and it's very fascinating actually, like it's so. But let's see what people find attractive about you. Whoops. So with the Ace of Pentacles, I think people are, you could be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but you don't have to be. But I think people are attracted to the fact that you seem to be very stable. Like you're a stable person. You're also a stable person, like in a stable. But like you're also like but you radiate stability. Like you give off this vibe that you're very secure in a way. Like you have some security. I think people can also tell that you grew up with security, and I don't know if that's correct, but I think that's the impression that people get when they see you, is that they feel like you were brought up in a great environment, that your childhood was very secure and stable, that your family life was really secure. Like you were allowed to become the person that you were supposed to be. Like no one, maybe you were also brought up in a bit of a hippie environment where your parents allowed you to become the person, whoever you wanted to be. Like they supported you in everything that you did, and that might not be the case, but that's kind of what people believe, that that your parents were very supportive of you, and that you weren't forced into doing something that you didn't want to do, like as a child. And that's also what I'm getting with the Four of Pentacles. I think people see you as someone who, like, you can see how this is, I really like this picture. It's not how I would normally interpret Four of Pentacles, but with the house here around the Four of Pentacles and the flower here growing out of this house in this great environment where there are these walls around, where it's very secure and very stable environment, because there are these great stone walls that are built around this flower, and nothing can get through, and like there are like these waves here trying to get in, but they can't get in because it's so secure, and everything is just, it's a very, very great foundation. And I think people feel like you were brought up in a very solid foundation. Everything was secure. You had boundaries that, like, you had tangible boundaries that and you could grow as a person in that, because you had these walls that were securing you, and that those walls could have been built around, like by your parents, and maybe also another sibling, that like maybe you have one sibling, and like you might have had this very secure family life with your parents and your sibling, and then you growing out of it, or growing out in this very secure environment. And I think people find that attractive, that they know, or that they feel like you're a very solid person. You come from something good. You come from something that's, maybe you also come from a country where there's very low criminal rates, like very low criminal rates, like not a lot of crime going on, low crime rates, I mean, and like, but also like if you were brought up in the countryside, you might have like had an environment where you could go out in the middle of the night without anything bad happening to you. Like you were not brought up in fear of anything. You felt like nothing bad would ever happen to you, like, because everything was kind of this very stable environment, I think. So with the judgment here, I think people see you as someone who has also like maybe you went through something that kind of, like, that's also what I see with the tower here. Maybe you went through something that made a bit of a crack in this foundation, but because you had this foundation, you were able to get through it. And I think people see you as a very strong person, and you might have been through something that was very tough, and many people might feel like they don't understand how you could get through it, so like and come out on the other side and seem to be not that affected by whatever happened, and I think people see you as very strong because you were able to get through it, and like not letting it affect your life. But I'm also getting, because there's this stork and like this child, like, so there could also be something about you. Maybe some of you were adopted, and like maybe the first years of your life was chaotic, but then you were put into a very loving family who created this very, very nice foundation for you. But maybe the first years of your life was not very stable, but maybe that's kind of what people are also very like intrigued by, how even though you might have been through something like where you were adopted, or that you don't know your real biological parents, or that something like that, that's you're still this very strong and stable person, even though you've been through that. Like you haven't like you didn't fall into like self-pity because of it, and like you're not like other people might have like started doing drugs or something like that because they were adopted, or because they were in foster care or because they went through something very hard in their childhood. But you seem to you don't have that self-pity. Like you're able to see how lucky you were. Like maybe you're very grateful, and people are very attracted to the fact that you're actually very grateful for everything that has happened to you in your life. Like all the nice things that people have done for you. Like people have created some kind of foundation for you, that even though some people might have been more lucky than you, you don't see it that way because you're just so grateful for whatever you got. And so yeah, I think people are very attracted to your view on life and your way to see the positive out of life, and see how everything happened for a reason, and see how even though something bad happened, it made something even better happen, or something good happen that you couldn't have wished for anything better to happen, and that wouldn't have happened if the bad thing didn't happen. And so there might be something like that, where you are able to see the bigger picture, how fortunate you actually were, and how bad it could have been if something differently had happened, or something like that. And with the tower here, I'm also focused on this goddess here, and so people might also be very attracted to your hand gestures. Like you might be very, you might have very soft hand gestures. You might also carry yourself in a very soft and feminine way. Like you might be a dancer, like I said before. I think you could have something where you seem a bit like a dancer, like you move like a dancer, you walk like a dancer, but I'm also just getting the feeling that people find it attractive that you have, if you've been through something difficult, I think they find it very attractive that you were strong enough to get through it, but also strong enough to have a nice outlook on whatever happened, like a positive outlook on whatever happened. But I'm also getting that maybe people also find it attractive that you are able to see if things are not working out. Like you're good at setting boundaries, and maybe also especially around people. Like you are good at setting boundaries and saying, okay, I don't want to do this. This is not something I'm comfortable with. Like this is I don't want to do this. I think you are good at being very direct about your own limits. If people want to make you do something that you don't want to do, or that you're not good at, you're good at saying that's not something I'm good at, but I know someone who's good at it, and so maybe call that person instead. You're good, maybe also good at delegating your workload. If people ask something from you, ask you to do something, and you know that it's not something you're very good at doing, and you know that there's someone who's better at it than you are, then you're good at, you don't have too much pride you wouldn't just say yes just because you're flattered that people came to you. If you know that people won't get a good outcome if you do it, but you know that they will get a good outcome if someone else does it instead, you are good at just coming out and saying, that's not my specialty, but it's this person's specialty, and so contact this person and you will have a very good experience with this person, but I'm not the person for that. And that's really amazing. Like that's an amazing personality trait. Like that's so valuable. It's like a personality trait that I believe is something that only the best in this world has, like, because it shows so much confidence, and it gives so much, and people who has this doesn't even realize how rare it is. Like, it's so rare because so many people, and I am one of those people, like if someone comes to me and asks me to do something, I will always do it, even though I know I'm not good at it. And I won't like delegate and tell people, like I've tried to do that in the past because I know that it's the right thing to do, but like I sometimes, like all people, all human beings, we have our pride, and we have a hard time coming out and saying, this is not what I'm good at, this is not my specialty, this is not something I can do, because I'm not good at it. I have other gifts and talents that I'm good at, but this is not. And so I just want to like put that out there, that it's really special that you have that. And it is a really great quality that is very appreciated, especially like in a high-end job where like that is a really, I think you could like get a lot of success just by having this quality, because delegating work is like so important, especially in the business world. Like being able to say, I know the exact, like that's also like you might have a gift of networking in some, like, you might have a gift of seeing how people are, like you might be good at seeing people's talents, like, and seeing people, what other people are good at, and like you're good at like if a customer comes to you with a request, you instantly know which person to call up who's better at the job than you are. Like, and that is also a very great quality to have, to be able to see who would do this better than me. And it's something that, like, it's very, you have to be very not ego based. Like, you have to be able to step out of your own ego and like see how other people are better than you at a lot of things, and that is sort of hard sometimes, but you have that. You have that quality, and people find it very attractive that you have that. And so yeah. With a 10 of Wands, I also think you are you're good at putting the work in, and you're good at seeing like you work until the work is done. You have a great work ethic. You're a hard worker. You do what needs to be done. You don't do anything half-assed. You don't do anything halfway through and then quits it. Like you see things through. You do things. You complete things. You and I think people find that really attractive, that you have this dedication and motivation that you have. But I also think that this is also just a picture of what I was talking about before, that you are like, this is someone who's like burning themselves on the on a fire, like bonfire, but the person is also having a mask on, and to me this is kind of the representation of getting rid of your own ego. And I think people are very attracted to the fact that you can like step out of your ego. You can see things in the bigger picture. You can see you're also good at, I think you're good at working in teams. Like you can become one with a team as well. Like you start thinking of your, like if you're in a team, you can think as a union, as a unity, as like one whole. And so what's good for the team is what's good for you. And so you do what needs to be done for the team. And you can step out of your own ego. You don't have to get your own, you don't have to get attention. You don't have to get praise. You don't have to get validation and recognition for what you do, as long as you do everything you do with the whole group in mind. And if the whole group or the whole team is doing well, then you are doing well, and like you are able to see yourself as one with the group instead of seeing yourself as one individual. And I think people see that as very attractive, and not just attractive but very admirable. Like so yeah, that's all I have for you. Group number 4, I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Tarot del Fuego tarot deck, and I will start with a channeled message, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, group number 5. Group number 5. What do people find attractive about group number 5? So I saw an image of stones, and I don't know what completely that means, but it could have something to do with stones, like gemstones. Like maybe you're very enthusiastic about gemstones or crystals. Maybe you wear a lot of gemstones or crystals. But you could also there could also be something about your weight that people find attractive. So some of you might be a bit overweight, and I think a lot of people actually find that really attractive, and that of why shouldn't they? But yeah, maybe it's an insecurity for you. So like maybe you don't expect that. But I think your weight is something that many people find attractive, especially the opposite sex finds that really attractive, because well, I think you carry your weight really well. First of all, your weight looks really good on you, even if you're a bit overweight. Like you you have your weight is all the right places in all the right places. It's like maybe you have a really great ass and like, or big boobs, and like it your weight just makes you really feminine and really soft, and you don't have like rough edges. Like you have soft curvy edges that many people of the opposite sex are really attracted to. And so I think that's something that is very attractive about you. So if you're insecure about it, then you shouldn't be, because it's working for you, and so you shouldn't be sad about that, because yeah. Group number 5, what's attractive about, what do people find attractive about group number 5? I think there's also something about your hair. You might wear like a headband, or like you might wear like hair accessories that people find very attractive, because it kind of it suits you in a way, and you might also wear something that's like a bit glittery or colory, or maybe you also have maybe you're really good at like putting makeup on, and like having fun with makeup, and like experimenting with colors, different colors, different glitter. Maybe you also like maybe you have like manicure on your nails, and maybe it's also always very fun. Like you do your nails in a fun way. Maybe also just give off a vibe that you're like very creative. Like you like to create things, and so you like to create like beautiful nails, beautiful makeup, beautiful hair. Maybe you color your hair as well, like maybe in different colors, or maybe you did that in the past. But like you might be very experimental with your look, and people find that attractive. People like the way that you are creative with it, that you also have fun with it. So yeah. Knave of Cups reversed. I think people find it attractive as well that you have a subtlety about you, but you're also very, I think you might be a mix of extrovert and introvert. Like you might be a blend of both. Like you might be very extroverted at times, and then very introverted at other times, and maybe even like throughout the day, like you might switch from extroverted in the morning and then introverted in the evening. Like but like it might also just come in periods. Like sometimes you have like a period where you're very, very extroverted, and then you have another time period where you're very introverted. But you're very subtle, yet not subtle. Like you can be very, you can fade into the background, but you can also be the center of attention. Like you have both, and I think people are very intrigued because they never really know which version of you they will get. But like yeah, there might also be like something where when you drink, you become a different person entirely. Like you might be very introverted, but then when you drink, you become very extroverted, or the other way around. I'm not sure, but like I think people just feel like they like 50 Shades of Grey, but like not not the movie, but and not I don't know, but like there's like 50 shades of you, like of your personality. Like you have so much flavor to your personality that like it like you wouldn't be able to show your personality in just one day, because you have so many different sides of you, and you have so many like you need 50 days to do to show people like the real you, because you have so many facets, you have so many different different notes and different tones, and like it's you might also like you might dress very differently as well. Like maybe one day you will have like a flowery dress on, the next day you might be goth, like you might go full goth with like black, everything black, and makeup black, clothes black, everything black, and then the next day you will have like all the colors of the rainbow on, and then like you might there might not be like people. I think people are very attracted to this because they don't know which one is you. Like who are you? Like one day you're one thing, the next day you're a completely different thing. Like, or not a thing, but like a different person. Like, and I think people see it as quite exciting because they never know what to expect. Like they are always surprised about like what you will like think of next. Like what will you do next? And like you're very unexpected. Like you're someone who people don't like. You can. People can't figure you out. People can't read like what your next move is going to be, because you can't be predicted. Like you're very unpredictable. You might also do some spontaneous things sometimes where people are just like, what just happened? And like, but like you might also be like that that friend at the bar where or in the nightclub, and where like suddenly you're gone, like you just disappeared, like, and no one can find you, and then like you just like randomly appear out of the blue again, like a few hours later, and everyone is like where were you? And you have some crazy story about how you met some guy at the bathroom, and then like there's like a crazy story about some guy who was in the girls' bathroom, and then you met them, and then you went out, and then you were introduced to their friends, and then they found out that like you have an uncle in common, or that your great grandmother was something where it always seems like something completely random happens to you, where you meet someone random, and then like you have some story to tell when you come back, like, oh, this is the craziest thing happened to me, like when I was outside, something like, yeah, I also feel like you have some crazy stories like from the past to tell. Like you have a lot of stories, funny stories, maybe also embarrassing stories that you like to tell, even stories that are like embarrassing to you, like some embarrassing things that happen to you, and like you like to talk about them because like you find them funny, and I think people see you as someone who's like, they never know what you're going to like say next. Like they never know what to expect from you. They you might also be the type of person who people like, who show up unexpectedly to things. Like if someone is throwing a party, you make an appearance at the party, even if you're not invited to the party, or like you just meet up with people, like, or maybe you have like this way of like just connecting with people where you can just meet someone like in a hallway, and then out of the blue they invite you to a party like at their apartment, and then you're at some random dude's apartment having a party with some people you don't know. And like you might get in those situations where you just randomly meet up with people, and people that you don't even know, and you don't have any, like, people are very attracted to how you just say, oh, fuck it, like, let's do it. Like you don't overthink things, and you don't feel awkward, like, and you don't have any fear. Like you just do whatever like you want, and like see how it goes, and like you don't. It doesn't seem like it's, or people feel like you're just someone where like it comes very easy to you to just go out, see how it goes. Like you can randomly start talking to anyone, and maybe it doesn't come that easy to you, but that's kind of what other people think. People think it's something that you're just a natural at, like you're natural at connecting with people and at starting conversations with people and just meeting new people and networking and mingling with new people, and like, but maybe it doesn't come easy to you at all, but that's what other people think. So yeah, let's see what people find attractive about you. Group number 5. Okay, so with the sun here, I think people see you as very positive, very light person, and I think people find that very attractive, that you have this very happy-go-lucky thing going on, where you're just seeing where life brings you. Like you're just as like surprised by life as other people are, as like you. This kind of doesn't really make sense, but like it made sense in my head. Now it doesn't make sense, but you have this like, people plan ahead, and so they don't get surprised. Like people make a plan, they want to go to a party, then they plan that party, then they go to the party at 8 o'clock, and that was when they planned to go there, and then they planned beforehand that they would go get home about around 10, and then they will get home about around 10, and then they go to sleep, and then they wake up next morning, and then they do their whole routine, and something like that. I don't know, but you don't seem to have that routine. Like, you don't plan that much ahead, or that's kind of what people think. Like, people see you as very impulsive and very spontaneous, and I think you are. I think you're actually quite just as surprised about things as, like, you get surprised by what happens. Like, because you don't plan ahead, then you can only be positively surprised when things happen. Like, and I think you use your intuition a lot. You follow your intuition. You kind of know, like, how to, like because you're always the right place at the right time. And I think it's because you follow your intuition. Like, you have a feeling that, okay, I need to be here right now, or I need to be there now. And, like, because I know, deep down that there's something there for you. There's going to happen something there. Like, that, like, when you look at a bar from afar, like, if you see a bar, I need to go into that bar, because at that bar I know something fun is going to happen, and I can just feel it. And then you go to that bar and something fun does happen, because you can just, like, I don't know. With the 9 of Pentacles here, I think people find it attractive that you wear your heart on your sleeve as well. Like, what you see is what you get. Like, when like, you're very honest and very authentic, like, and very genuine. Like, you're very natural as well. Like, in your personality, like, you give people your personality, like, you show people your personality, and you're not afraid of showing people who you are, and even the embarrassing parts of you. Like, you're not afraid of sharing yourself with others, and, like, giving them the whole package, and not sugarcoating anything. And, like, you might also be very honest. Like, you are honest to people. You say what you mean. Like, you don't just say what you think people want to hear. Like, you say things. You say what you believe people need to hear. Like, sometimes you can be a bit too blunt, but you know that you are, like, in a way helping people, because sometimes you just feel like you have to be honest. Like, and so, like, if someone comes to you, like, especially, like, if you meet up with some girls, or some, like, before a party, before going out at a bar or something, then you might, like, hang out with your girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever at your place or at their place, and drink before you go to the bar or to a party. And then, like, you dress up. Maybe you dress up with your friends, like, beforehand, and, like, choose an outfit beforehand. And then, like, someone might come to you and say, like, what do you think about this outfit? And you will be honest and say, like, that's maybe not the best outfit, but do you have something a bit differently, or something that looks a bit different? Then that would be very good. And like, you might even borrow, like, offer to borrow maybe something else. Like, if you feel like, okay, this is like a great pair of pants, but this top is just not working for you, but, like, I know exactly that I have a top in mind that would go so well with those pants, and I'll just find it, and then we'll see how that works. And then you come with that top and put that top on them, and, like, the outfit looks great, and, like, then you feel like like, I don't think you like to be honest just to be honest. Like, it's not like you say mean things to people just to be mean. Like, you are honest if you can see how your honesty can actually help, and or if you have an idea in your mind to how to help. Like, you don't just come with an opinion without actually coming with a solution as well. Like, you don't just share your opinion without having like something in mind that could like make it better. Like, okay, so I think people really admire your honesty, and people are attracted to the fact that you don't sugarcoat things, that you want the best for people. You want people to be the best version of themselves, and you want to help people get there. So with the Six of Cups reversed, I think people also like the fact that sometimes you have this way of thinking outside the box. You do things without, like, you're not afraid of thinking in a completely new and innovative way. Like, you're not afraid of doing something even though it has never been done before. You follow your intuition in that way. You do things even if it might sound crazy, even if other people say that like this will not work out, like, you do it and you see it through, and like you are a visionary. You're good at, like, you have a vision in mind and you follow it. Like, you also, like, you like to create things, and create new things, and you're very creative, very you think outside the box. You think in a very unique way, where you are not afraid of taking chances. Like, you're not afraid of doing something risky. You like to, like, also with your outfits, like, you're not afraid of like going goth one day just for the day, just to see what reactions you would get from doing that. Like, you're not afraid of like doing something completely out of the ordinary. With the Hanged Man, I think that's also with the Six of Cups, like, that's the same. I think you're not afraid of looking at things upside down. You're not afraid of having a different viewpoint on things, and you're not afraid of thinking in a different way and a different pattern than other people. Like, other people are following this road, and then you are here all by yourself on that road, where like you're not afraid of swimming against the stream. Like, you're not very mainstream. You're not afraid of going against what is considered the norm, or what's considered the right thing. Like, you're not afraid of taking chances on things and following your intuition. With the Chariot here reversed, I think people are attracted to the fact that you are someone who seems quite rooted. So it seems that you have roots that are quite strong. So I don't know if you are from like you might have some ties to the place that you grew up in. Like, you you might also talk about like the place that you grew up all the time. Like if you're talking, like you can say like, oh, I'm this way because I'm from Alabama, so that's how we are from, or I'm from New York, and so I'm a New Yorker, so I do things this way because I'm a New Yorker, or like something like that. Like I'm Irish, and so that's why I do things like, you know. So I think people find that attractive, that you like have a very close bond to where you come from, and maybe also your ancestors. Like you have a strong connection to your bloodline in some way. With the Knight of Swords, I think people find it very attractive that you're not afraid of crushing skulls. Like you're not afraid, like if you want to get somewhere, you're not afraid of forcing your way. Like you like to force your way through. Like if you come to a bar and you are not allowed access, like if you're not allowed access to like not a bar but like a nightclub, like if you go to a nightclub and there's like a man outside with a list, and like the man says like, you're not on the list, so you can't come in, like you have a way to force your way through anyways. Like you can, like you have a way to like charm charm your way through, and or talk your way through, or like maybe bargaining, or something like that, where you can convince people to let you in anyways. Maybe you can come up with some story, maybe that might not be true, but like you might be good at thinking on your feet and like coming up with some story that might get you to come into that nightclub. I don't know what that could be, but like I think people find that attractive, that you don't take a no for an answer. Like you see if you can actually get away with, like if you can actually force your way into something, like, and maybe bend the rules a bit, especially if the rules just doesn't really seem that that necessary. Like if you don't agree with the rules, then I think you fight a lot to maybe change the rules, or change the rules for yourself, so that you don't have to depend on the rules, or that you don't have to, I don't know. But with the Five of Swords here, I think people, especially of the opposite sex, also, I think they find it attractive that you don't put out right away, like you do, and you don't, and that can of course mean sex. Like you're not like very quick to sleep with someone on the first date or something like that, but like you wait, or like I get that feeling, even though you're very spontaneous and impulsive. Like I think you generally have the ability to like say, okay, let's wait a while, or let's wait until the third date or something. But I'm also just getting that you might be good at playing hard to get. Like you're good at like and I think people find that attractive about you, that you don't take just the first offer that comes through. Like you wait, you have a good sense of self-worth, even though you sometimes make jokes about yourself and things like that. But you know deep down that you are worth more than some of the offers that you get. I think people like that. People like that you are waiting for the right person to come to like dating wise and like love. When it comes to love, you're not just you're not just in a relationship just to be in a relationship. You want to wait until the right person comes along. You are independent enough to choose, like, is this person worth being in a relationship with or would I be happier just on my own? And then you can, like, I think you make decisions with that in mind, and I think that shows that you have a lot of integrity, but also a lot of like independence. Like you don't need anyone. And I think people get that right away, like when they can feel that about you, that you're not desperate. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose this Rider-Waite tarot deck, and I will start with a channeled message and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 6. What do people find attractive about group number 6? I think there might be something about music. You might have a very good taste in music. You might have a playlist that's really, like a playlist on Spotify that's really good. But also, I think you know a lot about music. You might also know a lot about like new musicians or old musicians. Like you just have like a very a big knowledge, like a great knowledge about music, I think. You might also be really good at memorizing lyrics to music and like singing along to music and like remembering all the right words. You might also sing a lot, especially when you're drunk. I think, and I think people find that attractive, especially because I think your voice is very good. Like you have a very strong voice. I think a very powerful voice. Maybe a bit deep voice. Like you could have a voice like a bit like. I don't remember her name. Summer. Something about summer. But also like. Aretha Franklin or isn't that her name? I'm sorry, like but like you have a very very maybe soulful voice, very deep, very very powerful voice. So yeah, and I think people find that very attractive, that you can sing. But even if you haven't, if you haven't sung around people, like if you're not singing all the time, like if that's not you, it could also be that your voice just sounds really powerful and strong and deep and soulful, and so people assume that of course you can sing, of course you can sing because you have a really beautiful voice when you talk, and so they believe that of course it must mean that you can sing. You might also just be really good at like raising your voice, and like your voice has like a very like strong, like there's some strongness about your voice, that's like very you like if you're talking to, if you have to, like if you're at a nightclub and like there's music playing really really loudly, and you have to get the attention of like a friend who's at the other end of the nightclub, but you have to like get them to come to you, like you can shout their name like really really, so that like you can make your voice get heard really, like because you have a really strong voice, and like, and people notice you because of your voice, like it's just something that makes you stand out, because it's very powerful, and like the emperor, like you it's powerful, it's maybe even in a way a bit masculine. Your voice could be a bit masculine, but still have that femininity to it. But it's still like there's also like a singer like from the that made music mostly in the 80s, I think, who had like this really very beautiful, soulful, deep, strong voice, but it was like very very deep, like very like very masculine in a way, but still feminine. But like it was so beautiful because like you couldn't, it was a bit hard to tell if it was a man or a woman, but like you could then, like sometimes you could like hear how it turned feminine, like especially like when it got a bit up, when the tones got like a bit lighter, like it, that then you could like hear the femininity, but like mostly it was quite masculine. But like it kind of gives that interesting duality, interesting like it's intriguing, it's fascinating, it's like, is it a man, is it a woman? It's like it's also it has always kind of been like very, it's that ambiguity is always interesting. It's but I think it's mostly, but it's mostly your voice. But I think it could also be your you could have like short hair, and like that could give you like a bit of a masculine take, even though you are, I think your face is quite feminine, but your face might also have like some edges to it, where you might have like some high or some quite prominent cheekbones that are more prominent in a masculine way than a feminine way. Like I do have that kind of where it's more like Mads Mikkelsen, but like not like model high cheekbones, but like more in the masculine. Even though cheekbones are considered like high cheekbones are considered quite feminine, but like sometimes it can look a bit masculine in some way. But like you could have like something about your face where like it's like feminine and masculine at the same time, and that's something I think people are very attracted to, the fact that there's something going on where it's very like, especially if you have short hair too, like it's I think it's a duality. It's intriguing. It's fascinating. It's kind of mysterious. It's kind of like yeah. And then the voice, like the deep voice that's still feminine but also masculine. It ties it all together. I think it's and I think people find that really attractive. Yeah. You could be an Aries. But you might also just have like that boss lady, boss bitch vibe to you, where you're maybe a bit like you can be very business, like sometimes you talk business and people around you are just like in awe when you start talking business, because you can do it in a way that's so it's honorable, it's admirable, because like you can make, but I also just think there's something where you can make everything sound respectful or high class in a way. Like when you talk, you can draw importance to anything, and you can make anything sound important. But you can also make anything sound serious in a way. And I think you might make some jokes where you use that element in some way where you can talk about something completely trivial and something that's very like something like toilet paper, or like something very, I don't know, something a bit silly, and then you talk with this deep voice and this seriousness about you, and you might also be able to make those kind of intimidating I'm talking business now eyes, where like you can like trick people into believing that you're actually being serious, but really you're making a joke, like yeah, toilet paper. I can't do it. I know I'm probably embarrassing myself because I can't do it, but I think like I'm getting the idea, like the feeling that you can like make that into a joke, and make that into a skit, or not a skit, sorry, a sketch, or like, I don't think that's a word I'm looking for, but a sketch, or like something funny, like you can make it into like a yeah. The Empress here, oh yeah, the Empress and the Emperor. Brilliant, brilliant. You have this duality. It is the masculine and the feminine and the masculine in some brilliant blend that you like, the mixture. You are a mixture of masculine and feminine energy that just like people are attracted to that because you have the perfect blend where your feminine, you have a softness to you, but you have an edge to you too, and you have a light side, you have a dark side. You have that duality. And people are fascinated by that, I think. And attracted to that. So what makes people, what do people find attractive about group number 6? So the Lovers and the 8 of Cups and the Knight of Swords came out in a cluster. So I'll read it in a cluster. So I think people might also find it attractive that you create bonds with people, then you walk away, and then you come back again. And so I don't like. I think you might have something where you disappear and then you come back, and like you have a comeback. Maybe also like maybe you have this thing where you disappear for a while, but that could also like be in your life where like you have some periods where you are more introverted and more like a hermit. Like you get into hermit mode sometimes, where you have to like be alone with your thoughts and get your thoughts together, and you have to do that in solitude, and then you re-emerge stronger than ever. Like you get back and have like this strong comeback when you get back, and like people feel like you are you have this ability to build something up, then break it down, just to build it up much stronger again. And I don't know exactly what that is. That's what it's talking about. But I think you have a way to make a great comeback. Like in everything you do, you have like this way of just coming back, and then like I'm here. Also, like I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it. And so like, that's kind of what I know that it might not be all of you, but some of you might be in the LGBTQ community. You might be a homosexual, bisexual, or something else in that range. And it might have like made you withdraw sometimes, so at some point in your life, but then you had a comeback that was just stronger than ever. And I think people admire that about you, and they are really attracted to the fact that you just came back and were that you were so much yourself when you came back, and so powerful when you came back. So, but that might only resonate with a few of you, but I'll just put it out there. So these cards here, they were hidden, like they ended up like this. So this could be something that not a lot of people see when they meet you. Like this is more the hidden part of you that people are attracted to after they've gotten to know you for a while. And I think that is your work ethic, like the fact that you are actually like a really hard worker. Some people might misjudge you when they meet you, and they might see you as someone where everything just comes easy to you. Like people might get that impression of you when they meet you at first, that you don't have to work that hard to get what you get. Like that you, yeah. But when people get to know you, I think people realize that you are actually working maybe even 10 times more than everyone around you. Like you are actually the wheels. Like you, like in a group, like if you work in a group or in a team, people might see you, or like for some reason they might misinterpret your work as like, or misinterpret you as someone who's just lazy, who doesn't really work that hard, who's just slacking or something. But as people get to know you, they realize that you are actually the wheels of the whole thing. Like you're the person in the group that's actually working the most. You just work at things that people don't see. Like all your work is kind of hidden, and it's not appreciated as much as all the other people's work, because it is hidden. It is something where you work behind the scenes. You do things behind the scenes that make a huge difference. Like people would instantly know it if you didn't work, if you stopped working, if you started being lazy and slacking, as some people think you do, then like the whole thing would fall down, because you are the legs of your team. Like if you work in some team, you are the one doing the leg work. You are, and people don't see that, and that's something that people find out after knowing you for a while. And after they've known you for a while, they start really appreciating this, and they start being very attracted to this part of you, this side of you. And with the King of Swords, I think one of the things that people also that might be a bit hidden from people when they first meet you is that you're actually very like some of you, it might not be all of you, but some of you might be quite gifted intellectually. You might even have like been in a special school growing up because you were gifted, and it might have actually caused you to have it might have been hard for you to be smarter than the rest. Like I know it might only resonate with a few of you, but I'll put it out there. But I think people don't realize that you are, like, how intelligent you are. Like I think people see you as very intelligent when they meet you, but I don't know if they actually know just how intelligent you are. And like you might have been like tested when you were a child. Like you might have had your IQ tested, and you might have had like an IQ on like 160 or something, or more, or I don't know, but you might have had like a really, really high intelligence or a high IQ, and I think it might have caused you to become to be quite to be a target as a child. Maybe some of the other children were kind of jealous of you, or they didn't understand you, or something like that. And so maybe you were bullied as a child, and maybe you also got a bit like special treatment from the teachers, which made your classmates hate you a bit, and so I think it was kind of hard for you to be the gifted child, and it might also have put a lot of pressure on you when you became like a teenager. Like you felt like you had to do something extraordinary, and it might have weighed. Maybe that's kind of the weight on your shoulders that you have had, is like the fact that might have been a burden for you to always feel like you had to do something extraordinary, that your life, that you were destined for greatness, and it might have been too much pressure on a child or a teenager, and you might, at some point, you might have just chosen to say, I don't want to do anything smart with my life. I don't want to go to the university. I just want to do something simple, something that I understand. I want a simple life. I don't want to do all the things that like people feel like I'm destined to do, because I want to follow what I want to do, and I don't want anyone to like look at me and see and think that just because I don't live up to my fullest potential that I'm some kind of failure. Because what's the failure here? Wouldn't it be a bigger failure if I did something that I actually don't want to do with my life, that isn't my correct path? Because that's only for me to decide. I should be following my intuition and doing what I want to do, not what everyone wants me to do. And so I think at some point you just put that in a box, the intelligent, gifted, overly gifted side of you. You put that in a box, locked it down somewhere, and you just said to yourself, now I want to live life for me, and I don't want to follow anyone's expectations. I just want to do what I think is the right thing. And that might have made you hide some of your intelligence. Like maybe you don't want people to know, like when you meet them at first, like you don't want that to be their first impression of you. You don't want people to see that side of you right away, because it kind of hurts you. Like it's a hurtful side, and it gives you a lot of anxiety. Some of you, it gives you the feeling where, like, if you show people that, then you might also be afraid that they will also start expecting you to do something extraordinary, and start telling you that you're wasting your potential on doing what you're doing. And so I think you put an act on, you put a mask on, where you try to mask your intelligence and come across as just a normal person with a normal intelligence, with a normal IQ, not anything special. And I think you are very humble, and people, when they meet you, they see you as someone very humble, and maybe also someone very average, because that is the thing that you like. That's what you are trying so hard to put out. You want people to see you as average. You don't want people to see you as anything special. But I think the special side of you does reveal itself with time, when it reveals itself to people, I think they are very attracted to it. Even if you like it or not, it is something that makes people fall in love with you. So yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 6. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.